Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Donella here. If you just so happen to be stopping by for the first time, if you happen to have seen my video somewhere along in your YouTube feed and you decided to click on it, then thank you, and thank you so much for being here. I'm sure you guys can tell from the title of this video what this video is about. I'm going to be sharing some of my hygiene tips that I normally do as a makeup artist. Now, before I begin, I just want to say that it is absolutely important as a makeup artist or as somebody who wears makeup on a daily basis. Even if you don't wear makeup every single day, it is absolutely important that you keep your makeup tools clean. So the first hygiene tip we're going to start off with is cleaning our makeup brushes. Now, persons who don't know this, let me tell you, it is absolutely important that you clean your makeup brushes whenever you use them. Now, I know on most days, like for instance me, I'm guilty of this. I don't really have time to clean my makeup brushes every single day. And here's a tip I want to leave you guys with. If you're not able to clean your makeup brushes every single day, then get yourself a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. Now, I know there have been occasions when it's really hard to find 100% alcohol. I know the drugstores and maybe the supermarkets maybe have like 70% alcohol and them kind of things. But if you're really a neat and clean freak like I am when it comes to both my makeup and my makeup tools, then you would find some way to invest your money and get yourself 100% alcohol. It is the best type of alcohol to use whenever you're cleaning your makeup tools. Even if you get like 90% or 99%, that's still good enough. But I usually just pour a bit of it in a spray bottle like this, and whenever I'm unable to clean my brushes right away, I usually just spray them like this with the alcohol, and that should just keep the germs away. Especially if you're sharing brushes with somebody, it is absolutely important. Like me as a makeup artist, I always make sure that I spray my brushes every single time I use them on a client, because I know if I let the makeup kind of set into the brushes, I know that is a possibility that I might spread germs from one client to the other. So I always walk around with my alcohol spray bottle and just spray my brushes every single time I'm done using them. Your makeup tools also include your beauty blender. Now, this is dirty right now because I just used it to apply this full face of makeup right here. But if it's one tool I know I wash every single day before I apply my makeup, it's this baby right here. It's a multi-use tool, so I tend to use it a lot versus my brushes. So usually whenever I'm not in a hurry to wash my brushes or I don't have the time, I spray them with alcohol, and I wash this every single day, every time I'm about to apply my makeup and after, and I still wash it before because I don't really want to give myself any breakout because I have acne prone skin. I know there are some persons who usually message me and say, girl, how do you keep your skin looking so good? I've never seen you had a breakout. I've never seen a pimple in your face. Hello, trust me, I get breakouts, and it's usually around that time of the month, during, before, and after. Honest, I am just looking forward for somebody to kind of just break that curse, because I'm just sick and tired of having to deal with that every single month and having breakouts and all kind of things. But yes, people tend to tell me they've never seen me with a breakout, but you guys probably see me on my better days, because trust me, I have some serious breakouts sometimes that I just can't even deal with at times. On the brushes tip, whenever you clean your brushes and you put them to dry, it is always a good idea to put them this way, facing downwards, so that the bristles can, the water from the bristles can kind of leak into whatever it is that you have your brushes on, whether it's a towel or a bounty or whatever. You always want to put your brushes in this direction, because usually whenever you turn it this way to dry, the water kind of leaks down, and then you would probably start to see maybe some sort of the handle of the brush, whether it's a wooden handle or a metal handle, you would probably start to see a bit of rust developing here, and then you would have to throw away the brush, because then you know that it's no good anymore, because you might possibly pass on germs to somebody or yourself and give yourself breakouts. Hygiene tip number 2. Now, I know this rule probably doesn't apply to persons who don't wear makeup that often, but I'm still gonna tell you guys. But those of us who live and breathe makeup every day, we know that it is in fact a rule for us to change our mascaras every single month. Now, I know some makeup companies, like for instance this one from Too Faced, Too Faced actually says that you can hold this mascara up to 6 months. But somebody like me who wears makeup every single day, like I don't even have the opportunity or the chance to say I'm throwing away a mascara that's maybe half full. I wear mascara so much, like I'm so in love with mascaras, like I'm in love with makeup overall. So I don't have the opportunity to basically throw away a mascara that's half full. But those of us in the makeup community do actually know that that is a makeup hygiene tip that we would live by, especially if you're sharing mascara with somebody, or maybe you want to use that same mascara on a client. Then you don't necessarily have to throw it away. Then you would probably have to apply the same rule with your brushes and spray your mascara wand with the isopropyl alcohol. We are now at hygiene tip number 3, and we are going to be moving on to eyeshadows. Now, I know this tip might seem a little weird, and people might be watching me and saying, yeah, what you talking about? Now, usually, those of us who are makeup artists should know that whenever you use a makeup palette and you dip your makeup, you constantly dip your makeup, your eyeshadow brush inside a makeup palette, then you should know that it is important that you actually scrape off, or you, don't kill me please, you actually scrape off the top layer of a eyeshadow palette before you use it on other clients. Now, I know some persons might look at me and say, girl, you're crazy. You want me to do what? With my what? Especially if it costs how much ever money, you must be crazy. But this is what we learn about hygiene when we learn makeup, that it is absolutely important that you scrape off the top layer of an eyeshadow palette before you use it on another client. Now, like the same rule applies. If you don't want to go through all that hassle, all you have to do is take your 100% alcohol and just spray the entire, ooh, girl, you're spraying too much, and spray the entire palette with 100% alcohol, and that is going to kill all of the germs that was left there from your makeup, from your eyeshadow brush, I should say. And she's clean. Now, if you actually want to scrape off the top layer, I've done it a few times on my own personal eyeshadow palettes for my clients, and I usually just take like a bit of Bounty. I'm just going to demonstrate to you guys real quick. I usually just take a bit of Bounty, and then I would kind of wet, like, say for instance, if I use this color, I would kind of saturate it a little bit with the alcohol, and then I would just do it like this. Take off the top layer. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to scrape the entire thing away, but you just usually just saturate it with the alcohol and just scrape away the top layer, and that's just going to prevent you from causing maybe infections or maybe passing on germs from one client to the other. Don't kill me, don't kill me. This is what I learned. Don't kill me, please. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, but this is all about making sure that your makeup tools and your makeup itself is kept clean. Okay, so we are now at hygiene tip number 4, and this actually has to do with lashes. Number 1, clean your eyelash curler. If you constantly use your eyelash curler from one client to the other, especially, I know there's some persons who have really curled up type of, I don't know, those type of lashes that probably need some sort of perm or some sort of relaxing them to get them straight. Like, I've had clients who had those type of lashes, and I would have to use an eyelash curler on them. If you're going to be using that, then the same rule applies. You wet your eyelash curler every single time you use it with 100% alcohol, and you put it to dry. And also, by the way, those of us who wear false lashes, it is absolutely important that we clean our lashes before we reapply them. Now, I know some persons like to just take up the lash from the night before or the week before, and then they would have the excess glue or the chunky glue that's still on it and just still put it on. And I've seen persons that have like bits and chunks of glue on their lashes that they're wearing currently, and I would often wonder, like, I would literally say, you know, you're supposed to take off the excess glue that was on it before you reapply that lash, right? And they would be like, they would look totally surprised. I'm like, yes, that's how you're going to get the lash to lay on top of your real lashes much easier, number one. And that's how you're going to make it to look even, it's just going to look more uniform that way. You don't really want to see that those big chunks of glue all over your lashes. So it's important for you to do the same thing. Whatever, if you have like a tray that the lash came in, you could just simply put the lash back in that tray, and then you just saturate it with the alcohol, and that's kind of an easy way for you to get the excess glue that was on it to easily just rip it off. You shouldn't use the term rip off because that sounds kind of vicious and you don't want to damage the lash, but you actually allow it to soak inside of the alcohol that's on top of the lash tray, and then it should be easier for the excess dry glue to kind of lift, so it's easy for you to just simply take it off. Okay, so this next tip is not really a hygiene tip. It's more so of a makeup removing tip. So I'm just going to call it a tip. All right. And I've said the word tip so many times. I don't know if you guys are still following, but yeah, it's just a tip. But I know now I just recently learned this, right? So nobody kill me because I know I've worked backstage for pageants, and some persons would maybe get a bit of makeup stain on maybe their white garment or whatever, and the people would probably be trying to figure out what's the best way to remove that stain instantly. And although you're not going to be walking around with a bottle of dish liquid in your bag worrying about the fact that, hey, I might get a bit of makeup transferred to my white shirt, so let me just walk on with a mini bottle of dish liquid in my bag. I know it's not possible. But however, if you do happen to have a makeup stain and you maybe have a dish liquid in the area that you're at the moment, then it is probably a good idea to saturate the area with water and then the dish liquid, and take a toothbrush and kind of swirl it around in the area where the makeup stain is, and that way you can actually get the stain to lift from the garment. Now, as I said before, this is something I just learned recently because I had to try different things, and I was like, hey, dish liquid removes grease stains, so let me see if it would actually remove makeup stains. So I tried it on a shirt that had a makeup stain like right up here, because I had like a high neck what is it called, a shirt, and it had a makeup stain there for the longest while, and I was washing and I kept saying, oh, I can't get this makeup stain out. And then I tried dish liquid, and guess what? It came out. So there you go. I jump straight back into the hygiene tips. I think we're at hygiene tip number 5, and we're going to focus on lip products, lipsticks, lip glosses, lip palettes overall. Now, I know persons who are makeup artists, some persons tend to invest in lip palettes. I have this one here from Maybelline, and this one actually has a bunch of what we call mauve colors, and I'm actually holding one of the most expensive lipsticks that I own. This one is from Estee Lauder. Y'all know that's a high-end brand, so this costs some serious money. But if you're going to be sharing lipsticks, lip glosses, or if you have a lip palette as a makeup artist and you're going to be using them on different clients, then the same rule would apply. You have to actually clean your palettes. You have to actually clean your lipsticks whenever you use them on someone. Now, this is my personal lipstick, so I've never used it on anybody else. It's a purple shade, but the same rule applies. You actually take a bit of Bounty, you saturate the area that you want to clean with the alcohol, and then you just rub it along the... Actually, I'm going to demonstrate to you guys as I'm speaking because it's probably better for me to do that. So you saturate the area with a bit of the alcohol, the area that you want to remove, with lipstick that you just used on someone, and then you just dab it along the Bounty. You're just going to be really focusing on the top area, and these lipsticks are extremely soft and creamy, so you don't want to press too hard on it and then you break the entire lipstick. So that's it, and your lipstick is now clean and ready to use on you or somebody else. The same rule applies with the lip palettes. You saturate them with the alcohol, and then you would gently, one by one, clean off the top area of each with a piece of Bounty, because you just use that on somebody and you want to use that on somebody else. You don't want to transfer germs, So you definitely have to clean each single one of these colors with a piece of Bounty. Have a liquid lipstick, or if you have a lip gloss and it has a wand, then it's probably a good idea for you to use a lip brush, so that you don't actually transfer whatever it is that you use on that particular client back into the main jar or the main container that you have right here. It's always a good idea to use a lip brush so that you don't transfer germs from one client to the other. I often use plenty lip brushes, and you know, before I use my lip brushes, I always spray them with the alcohol. And even if I don't use the wand directly on the client's lip, I tend to often just rub a bit of it on the back of my hand, and before I put it in, now this is my personal lipstick, so I could do whatever I want with this, because these are my spit chips going from me to me. So I normally just spray it with the alcohol, the wand itself with the alcohol, before I put it back inside the container. And now at hygiene tip number 7, I think it is, and we're going to focus a bit on loose powders and loose highlights and pressed highlight as well. Now pressed highlight is probably a bit easier for you to clean. If you have a pressed highlight compact, then it's just easy for you to saturate it with, oh my god, you're going to blind yourself, girl. It's just easy for you to saturate the top layer with the alcohol, and then just do the same trick. You take a bit of Bounty and then you just remove the top layer. But this actually is my personal highlight. I don't use this on anybody else, so I'm okay transferring my highlight to my highlight to my highlight. Let's talk a bit about the translucent powder that I know I would use from one client to the other. Whenever I'm about to use it, I always make sure that I tap a bit of it over into the jar, and it's really because whatever is left over in here, I'm not going to throw it back in here. I'm just going to throw it away. Often persons ask me, you know, like, why do you do that? You're just wasting the powder. But you know, I really don't want to transfer whatever it is from one person to the next. And then usually whenever I get home, if I don't do it right away, I tend to just spray the cover of the translucent powder with the same alcohol. Now the same rule applies with my highlight. If I'm using a loose highlight on a client, I tend to throw, well, in most cases for Artist Couture, because these glow powders are so pigmented, most of the time you usually have just a bit of it in the cover. So I would just use whatever it is that's in the cover, spray the cover, and then I just gently close it back. That's basically to keep my clients germ free, and to also keep me from getting the call and saying, hey Donella, you use this particular product on me and now I have a pimple, now my lip is swollen, now my eye is swollen. I want to safeguard myself, and I also want to safeguard my clients as well, because I want my clients to keep coming back to me, not only because they like the look, but also because I spend a lot of time investing in making sure that my tools and my products are kept clean at all times. Alright guys, so that is it for my makeup hygiene tips. These are hygiene tips that I live by, and I'm hoping that you guys may have learned a thing or two. If you did, please be sure to drop me a comment down in the comment section and let me know about something that you may have never even thought about doing. And when I mention it, you're like, oh hey girl, I never even thought that not doing this could possibly cause a breakout from one client to the other. Thank you guys so much for being here. By the way, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button on your way out. Until my next upload, I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye bye. Ooh, I need to hurry up and film because these earrings are killing me. Who invented these? This is just, oh my god. Okay, and the powder is done. So beauty blend. Like cut. Let's just cut the whole thing and start over. Listen, I need to go eat or something. And feel like my highlight needs a touching up. Feel like my lip gloss needs a touching up. I feel like I need to start over this entire video like the fellas from Wayne's World, you know. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm done.